Uh, Howdy! We got any Yags out there tonight? My name's Caleb Hobart. Drove down from Dallas today. I'm actually here because really one man, Thomas Umstadt. He was a roommate of mine a handful of years ago in Austin. Huge advocate for the pro-life movement. I just want to show him honor because I honestly don't know if I would say I even cared about this issue personally if it wasn't having seen his heart lived out for it, him being proactive in smart media and educating myself and uniting a crowd like this to live stream this to people who aren't available here. So I think we should just honor Thomas, and just give him a round of applause real quick. I personally was asking, what do I share? And I figured I'd just share the way that my life has been impacted. My mama, I'm the fifth of 7 children, and I was actually the first planned one. But my little sister after me, Sarah Elizabeth, was diagnosed with trisomy 17, which is actually identified as incapable of life. The doctors wanted the fetus for research and medical purposes. My mom agreed to the abortion. When she was going down the elevator, God spoke to her and said, abortion is not for this child. My mom went back upstairs and she said, not only am I not going to go through with the abortion, but I want my friends to be able to be in the delivery room singing praises to God. My mom's a little crazy. She's a little crazy. Love her to death. Love her to death. It took a second doctor, a third doctor. Finally, they allowed it to happen. Sarah was born premature. She was 3.5 pounds. And even though she didn't have a developed brainstem, she actually lived and breathed. And God gave my mom a promise that He would heal her child. Obviously, just with all the family tension, everyone's always wanted to be with the baby. After 3 months, one night, God says, I'm going to take my child home. And my mom says, how could this be? You know, the story of faith is often a confusing one. But she's like, how can this be? He's like, no, it's time for me to bring my baby home. My mom physically saw my baby sister's spirit leave her and ascend to heaven. 16 years later, I'm now 18 years old. I kind of had a troubled high school. I'm in a coma from a drug overdose. I'd been in a coma for 3.5 days. The doctor said I would remain. I have all the medical records. I would be a vegetable, or I would die when they took me off life support. My mom looked at that doctor and said, once God gave me a promise that He would heal my child. That promise was not for that child that I thought it was, but that promise is for this child now. They took me off life support. In 24 hours, I walked out the hospital completely healed in the name of Jesus. Completely healed in the name of Jesus. Last year, this past October was the 10-year anniversary of me having known life. That's how I was impacted in a pro-life decision. That's how our family was impacted in a pro-life decision. And I want to share this real quick testimony because a pro-life decision is beyond even the immediate impact of that child, a mother. It impacts creation. Last year, after 10 years, within a week of the 10-year anniversary, I'm in India. And there's a Tibetan Buddhist that was in a motorcycle accident and in a coma. The same exact situation. We showed up, they prayed, they had heard that we knew Jesus. They had heard that this man says that Jesus can heal someone in a coma. We read the story of the paralyzed friends, or the friends that brought the paralyzed man on the mat, and how he saw their faith, and Jesus healed him. That man, after being in a coma for 3 days, was healed, a full recovery, and today there's been over 50 Tibetan Buddhists that have come to Christ that are meeting in the house churches. I know this is a different kind of story, but it was a pro-life decision that my mom made. She took on medical risk. And that choice in a very difficult and challenging circumstance of what am I going to choose to do, she made the decision to stand for pro-life. So I'm thankful to share that short story of how a pro-life decision not just impacted my family, my neighborhood, my community, my state, our nation, and the nations of the earth.